The Lakers are looking for a big man.
Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode of Quick Play Video. I am, of course, your host, Carmy Bear von Schniggelstein III. And today we are playing what I think to be the absolute best basketball game of all time, NBA motherfucking Jam. Let me tell you, this was a game that was ahead of its time. It was a trailblazer. We had all sorts of sports games back in the day. We have all sorts of sports games today. But I'm telling you, none of them were ever quite like NBA Jam. In my opinion, this game was ahead of its time. It's still one of the best games of all time. It's definitely the best damn basketball game of all time. I'm excited. I'm glad to be playing this. So let's jump right in. Now, I'm an old school Charlotte Hornets fan. Larry Johnson, Muggsy Bogues. Larry Johnson, of course, also known for being Grandmama. If you're not familiar with Grandmama, you should be ashamed of yourself. Because I'm telling you right now, Grandmama was awesome. Larry Johnson basically put on a wig, dressed up as an old lady, his own grandmother named Grandmama, and they used that character to endorse and advertise Converse sneakers. That's definitely more of a 90s thing. If you're not familiar with it, shame on you. Go look it up on YouTube right fucking now. So here we are right into the game, playing the Mavs. Of course, I'm actually controlling Larry Johnson. Alonzo Mourning is my partner. And this is actually one of the games that I'm actually semi-decent at this one. I played the shit out of this at home. I had it for the SNES. I played the shit out of it out of the arcade. I love this game. I absolutely love it. I have nothing bad to say about this game at all. And there were also other codes that you could put in. I wish I would have done that earlier, but you could put in like codes that play as Bill Clinton and Al Gore. You could play as Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff. I'm not kidding you. This game is badass. It's just really simple, really fun, in-your-face, fast-paced arcade action. And I think that this is one of the few games, along with Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, one of the few games that was actually a faithful and impressive arcade to console adaptation. I love it. So what I'm going to do is most quick play videos, I only get in like maybe a level or two, maybe do a boss or two, or I just play until I say, I've had enough, fuck it, I quit. Today we're going to do something landmark, we're going to do something seminal. I'm going to actually play an entire game. And the thing about NBA Jam is that it's going to allow me to actually play an entire game without taking all fucking day. So you can see, fuck you, goaltending. As you can see, though, I'm off to an early lead. They are catching up a little bit. I'm a little... I forgot. You can play prison rules up in this bitch. There are no fouls. Aside from goaltending, anything pretty much goes. You know what? That kind of reminds me. I would love to see Mutant League basketball. We got Mutant League football. We got Mutant League hockey. I think Mutant League basketball would be pretty fun. Just out there on the basketball court, knock someone down, pull a chainsaw out of your Air Jordans, and just start hacking people to shit. That'd be so much fun. This was also a game that was fun, not only to play on your own, single player versus the computer. This game was so much fun to play with a friend or a couple of friends. I mean, it's just one of those games that it's just great. It's great. I can't, I'll continue to gush about it because I love this game. And I've said just about every game that I've played on this little channel of mine has a special place in my heart. I love these older games, But when I say that this is one of my favorite games of all time, there's no exaggeration. I'm not just saying it to say it. I could play this game all day long, and I have played this game all day long. Actually, about a year ago, when I was sitting there, I had just suffered a hernia, massive lower abdominal hernia that required some surgical repair, and I was pretty much on my ass for a few months as I was waiting to heal up. I couldn't do much, couldn't lift much, so I was gaming quite a bit. I was gaming more often than I normally would. And there was one day when I took a break from the MMOs. I took a break from all the other PC and console bullshit, and I just tossed this motherfucker in. And I was like, I played this all damn day long, and it was exciting. It was fun, and I'm having a blast with it now. As you can see, I'm not lying. I'm actually not bad at this game. There's a lot of back and forth. You do have to kind of stay up on it, but I like to. Oh, I fucking hate when that happens. But yeah, man. Like, I don't know. I could talk all day about this game. And Larry, you know what? I don't know. I'd have to check to see. I don't know if there ever was a code, but I was always like, man, it'd be badass if you could actually put in a code to play as Grandmama in this game instead of Larry Johnson, like Larry Johnson dressed as Grandmama. And I keep mentioning Grandmama. Some of you may remember Grandmama. Grandmama actually made a cameo appearance in an episode of Family Matters. FYI, just so you know, just in case you didn't realize. I'm pulling that card out on you, too. I'm going fucking uber nerd on you tonight. Family Matters references. So yeah, Grandmama, I think Grandmama helped Steve Urkel win a basketball game or some shit like that. Or maybe it was Richie. I don't know. But here we are at halftime. As you can see, I'm 10-point lead. Not a commanding lead, but respectable enough. And I think what I'm going to do is I might consider switching up players. But while we're at halftime, I'm going to take a break to get a drink. More from a word from our sponsor.
These are my new shoes from Converse. They're so light and so fast, my grandmama can whoop you in them. Grandmama! Let's go. What? Shoot that dude. Run like an old lady. Move it, Granny, move it. Remember, you can't beat what you can't catch. Okay, Granny, one-on-one, me and you. That was a lucky shot, Grandma.
And welcome back. And that was Grandmama. That was one of the first Larry Johnson Grandmama commercials that I remember airing as a kid. They had a few of them between like early 90s to mid to the late 90s. Of course, I'm going to switch it up now, give Larry Johnson a rest for the final quarter. Bring out a little Muggsy Bow. But yeah, forget Grandmama, or Grandmama, I love Grandmama. Forget Eddie Murphy as, the Clumps, as, Mama Clump and Grandma Clump. And you know what, you can forget Tyler Perry's Medea and her My Lord and all that other shit. Before all that, you had Larry Johnson, an amazing basketball player, dressing up as an old lady, dunking on people. Actually, you know what, now that I think about it, that'd be an awesome episode for Death Battle. So, Death Battle, I'm gonna have to submit this to Screw Attack. Ultimate Death Battle, like free for all. You have Medea. You have Big Mama from Martin Lawrence's Big Mama's House. Okay. Then you have Eddie Murphy as both Mama Clump and Grandma Clump. I can't remember if they ever had fucking names. It's just Sherman. And then Larry Johnson dressed as Grandmama. I think that would be like the ultimate like old lady, dressed old lady drag like. Just all together beat down. I'm so tongue-tied right now because I'm excited at the prospect. I really shouldn't be, but I think that'd be a badass death battle. I'm going to have to submit that idea to Screw Attack. They haven't really taken any of my ideas so far, but for all I know, I don't kiss enough ass in the comment section or, raise enough cane or bitch as much as some people do. I don't know. I'll see what happens, though. I'll see what they have to say about it. I think it'd be a unique death battle, though. It's one that I don't think anyone would have ever expected. So let me get back on track here, though. So for the uninitiated, that was Grandmama. 46-37. We're coming down to the last 32 seconds or so of this quarter. Hopefully I can maintain the lead here. It's been kind of... I had a pretty commanding lead there for a little bit, but they're starting to bounce back also. Little Muggsy Bo. For those of you who are not aware, like, who's Muggsy Bo? Go and watch Space Jam, number 1. Number 2, go lock yourself in a closet, say, 100 Hail Marys for never having seen Space Jam. God damn, I'm like tripping all over my words tonight. And number 3, just Google search Muggsy Bo. The guy was like 5'4", something like that, but he was one of the best like ball handlers in the NBA at the time. The guy didn't need to be uber tall. He was just badass, as he was. So bring in my boy out, bring in Larry Johnson, bring in LJ back out for the last quarter of the game here. Larry Johnson was always one of my favorite, boom shakalaka. He was always one of my favorite basketball players of that era. And I lived in North Carolina, like I want to say a little bit in elementary school, like 5th grade. I was there for about 6 months. Went back for a couple years in my earlier teen years. And I did get to go see a couple of Charlotte Hornets games. So I became a Hornets fan. I was also a Suns and Rockets fan. And that was because I fucking love Charles Barkley. And the reason that I really became a fan of Charles Barkley, as you may have seen at the very beginning of this episode, Charles Barkley played a one-on-one game of basketball with none other than Godzilla, the king of all monsters himself. And anyone who knows me well enough knows that I am a hardcore Godzilla fan. It's in my blood. I grew up watching Godzilla. So for me to see that, and I actually have the one-shot comic done by Dark Horse, Godzilla, Barkley versus Godzilla. They did a one-shot comic by Dark Horse. I think it was like in 96, 97, something like that. I have that comic book still in its like wrapper, and I'm a huge fan, and that's why I became a big fan of Charles Barkley, though, because I'm like, holy shit, he took on Godzilla in a basketball game. That's badass. So you had Nike, doing the whole Charles Barkley Godzilla crossover. You had Converse taking Larry Johnson, making him dress up as an old lady. Is it just me, or was advertising just a lot cooler back then? I mean, I remember there being commercials back in the day that were just so much more memorable. And you know what? To my knowledge, as I recall, not so many of them had to rely on the whole sex appeal thing. A lot of it was just good old goofiness and good-hearted fun. But, the times we live in these days. That's a topic for another date, though. So we're winding down the last 20 seconds. Can I keep the lead? Can I keep the lead? Give me that. Pass me the rock. Now I'm heading to the basket. Get up my ways. What you better do my tactics. Unsportsmanlike conduct. You better ask it. Oh yeah, 69 to 55. You know what? If I had to go out, I'm glad I went out with a 69. Giggity goo. Well, anyway, I don't know where I went to on this episode. But anyway, guys, it's been another Quick Play episode. Thanks for stopping by. As always, like, subscribe, leave a suggestion down in the comment section below if there's a game you'd like to see me play. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Have a great evening.
There was an old lady who lived in a shoe. A fresh little crib, and brand spanking new. And that shoe let her do things that no man could do. She jukes and she cuts and stops dead in her tracks. She plants and she spins, leaving chumps on their backs. And who gets the credit? Some mother named Goose. Check you out, yo. Converse, of course. And that new React juice.